what's going on, everybody? Commander Crane here, and we are back with another Pioneer Showdown. I know it's a lot, definitely not as much of a gap as it was last time. I know it was like almost 2 months before we did one, but now we are finally back with another one. And I'm here with Hunter. How's it going, Hunter?
Goes good. How about you?
Good. Well, we're going to play some, Pioneer today. So we're going to be playing what I'm officially calling this is Pioneer Plus, which the plus obviously means that we're going to be playing cards that are not specifically in Pioneer, just kind of testing them out to see like how good or how bad they would be in the metagame and see if they would potentially be able to be reprinted into Pioneer at some point. So obviously, according to the thumbnail, I'm going to be playing a Gruul aggro deck, more specifically like a Gruul Haste deck that I built a couple months ago. Never really played it that much, but I'm going to be playing Bloodbraid Elf in the shell because obviously Bloodbraid Elf has haste, works really, really well with the engine, which is Samut. What are you going to be playing today, Hunter?
We're going to be playing Bant Spirits with Drogskol Captain. It's not legal in Pioneer. It's really, really good in Spirits for Modern. So we're going to see if Drogskol Captain would be too good in Pioneer, giving everything hexproof.
I'm excited to see where it's going to go, because I know with Spirits specifically, like, they play like Empyrean Eagle, which is technically a worse lord, but it is a lord. So they just play it because of the fact that it's a lord. So we'll see what happens when they put a lord in that like is just like strictly better.
Yeah, has a little bit more relevant text for sure.
Exactly. So okay, we're gonna go ahead and shuffle up, and we will see you for game one. All right, so we are ready for game one here. Oh, we never even actually figured out who's going first, so let's figure that out first. That was a nice 6. Oh, skill issue. Taking the play.
Yikes.
All right, so I'm taking the play. My hand it's not looking super aggressive here, but it's not bad. We got a couple 2s, we got a couple 3s, 2 lands. I think it's good enough. How's your hand looking?
It's pretty much the same. I've got a few lands, I got a few dudes, and then I got my Coco on the very end of it to hopefully wrap things up.
Nice. All right, well, I'm going to start us off with a copper line. Go ahead.
Draw. I'm going to play... Yeah, we're going to play Seachrome Coast untapped. Go ahead.
Seachrome Coast. All right, I'm going to play Carplusian Forest, and I'm going to pass.
All right, end step. Draw. We're going to play Botanical Sanctum, and we're going to pass.
Wow, I love this back and forth. All right,
very interactive.
End step, I'm going to stomp you for 2.
Yeah, I'll go to 18.
All right. Draw land. Nope, not a land. Rip. Go ahead.
On your end step, I'm going to flash in Rattle Chains.
Gross.
And I'm going to target Rattle Chains with Hexproof.
Sounds good.
Untap and
well, it doesn't sound good.
Draw for turn.
I will allow it.
Oh, it's going to happen. I'm going to play Seachrome Coast. I'm going to attack you for 2 in the air.
Fuck.
Go ahead.
Okay, well, you're a land. Not exactly the one we wanted, but it is a land nonetheless. So
we deserve.
All right. Let's see. Got a couple different options here. We're gonna go ahead and play Samut, Vizier of Noctamoon.
What in the world?
It's a reader for sure. Not a lot of people really saw this card because it was in Aftermath. It was pretty forgotten about, so
pretty sweet.
All right. As a resolve?
Yeah.
All right. Move to combat.
Yep.
I'll attack for 2.
I'm at 16.
All right, and then I'm gonna trigger that. I'm gonna draw a card.
All right.
Go ahead.
On your end step, I'm gonna flash into Drogskol Captain.
Ooh. Captain.
We're gonna.
That's a sweet alt-art one too.
Untap,
one.
Draw.
That's a good one.
I do believe it's from a commander set.
I'll even make sure that the card pop-up is even the sweet sweet art one.
All right. So what do we do here?
Bone Crushers also. I'll make sure for the camera. It's adventure.
Please another haste. You know what? I think we're going to move to combat. I'm going to attack for 5 in the air.
Yeah, I'm going to go to 11.
All right, and I'm going to shotgun a breeding pool and go to 14.
Yeah, I got you.
And we'll pass.
Okay, well, that's totally not scary. I'm going to draw. All right, well, another land. So, quite a few different options here. I'm very scared that I'm just going to be dead here. I think we're going to go ahead and start by moving to combat.
Yep. We'll take 2 and go to 12.
Okay, well, I think I got to do this because I might just be dead on my next turn. I'm going to Obliterating Bolt Drogskol Captain.
In response, I'm going to flash in a second draw.
Oh, that's pretty brutal. All right, so that is countered.
So this is where the brutality in Modern kind of hits, is because the Drog Skulls give each other hexproof, and everything on my board is now hexproof.
Gross. So, all right, well, I have another Obliterating Bolt, but unfortunately there's no valid targets, so I'm just going to pass.
Untap and draw for turn. And I think we just cast a Coco on my main phase.
Yeah.
1,
That's 3, 6, 9. Yeah, so you just got to hit a Lord.
4, 5, 6. We're going to hit Mausoleum Wanderer and Supreme Phantom.
Yeah, well, I think that'll do her here.
So, yeah, move to combat, attack for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13.
Yeah, yep, that's game, all right. Yeah, I knew it was not the best thing I wanted to do, but I was like, well, I might just die, so I kind of had to go for the Obliterating Bolt. It definitely was a little awkward. I was very 3-drop flooded in my hand and for creatures.
Yeah.
So I had plenty of gas, but I was like, oh, I might just die on the backswing here. So, all right, well, we're going to go ahead and shuffle up for game number 2, and we'll see you in just a second. Alrighty, so we are ready for game number 2. I'm on the play, and I'm going to hope to not die to some spirits on this one. So, alright. Start us off with the Carplusian Forest, taking a damage, playing Elf, and here you go.
I'm going to draw for turn. Oop. We're going to play a Seachrome Coast and pass.
The Coast. Okay, well, I don't think there's a couple different lines I have here, which this is technically the safe line, and I'm going to take it because I really want to get this online. So I'm going to take one. I'm going to play an Elf. I'm going to tap 2. I'm going to play an Earthshaker, Kenra.
Yep.
And then no targets, and then I'm going to attack you for 2.
Yeah, I'm going to go to 18.
And it's your go.
All right. Draw. Oh boy. Play Botanical Sanctum and pass.
All right, so I'm going to draw, which if I would have went the other route, it technically would have worked out better for us. I didn't have another land, which was the tricky part. If I knew I was going to get another land, obviously I would have done this a little differently. I'm going to tap 4, and I'm going to play a Bloodbraid Elf. And
yeah, pretty good.
I have a Cascade trigger, so
yeah.
And then Obliterating Bolt. I am not going to cast Obliterating Bolts. So that's just going to go back on the bottom. So anyways, I'll Bloodbraid Elf.
Yep.
All right, and then move to combat.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and attack for 6.
I'm at 12.
Go ahead.
Draw. Play Botanical Sanctum and pass.
All right, untap here and draw. Well, it's certainly a draw. Let's go ahead and do this again. I guess I'm just going to play another Bloodbraid Elf. I have a Cascade trigger.
Cascade trigger resolves.
Ooh, that's not bad. I'm going to cast well, I'd like to cast a Reckless Stormseeker.
Ooh. Reckless Stormseeker resolves.
Okay. Bloodbraid Elf.
I'm going to spell Quiller the Bloodbraid Elf.
Yeah, okay. That goes under there. Okay, play this. All right, I'm going to move to combat.
Yep.
I'm going to target the Reckless Stormseeker. It's also day. I do have the day token here. I'll go ahead and I'll do this. All right, let's see here. Yeah, we'll go ahead and target Reckless Stormseeker.
Yep.
And then I'm going to attack for 6.
I'm going to go to 6, unfortunately.
Okay, go ahead.
Untap, draw. Oh, now you start showing up.
Fitting.
Play a Deserted Beach untapped. What do I do here?
You can do nothing.
Do that. Yeah, probably not that. Well, I think we're just gonna fire off a Coco on my main phase.
Yeah.
3, 4, 5, 6. That's not the worst, I suppose. Take a Shacklegeist and a Drog Skull Captain.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go ahead and pass the turn.
Alright, untap here. Get all of our knuckleheads. I'm gonna draw. Definitely not a bad draw. but not a good draw. No, it was a good draw. Excuse me. Let's go. Trying to figure out how I can not take damage here. So let's do it this way. I'm going to tap 3. I'm going to play a Mygla's Maze Crusher.
That is a Mygla's.
Yeah. I'm going to put 5 oil counters on that, assuming it resolves here.
I'm tapped out.
Okay. It's tricky because I could do that, but then you get to do that. So, but then again, it does... Actually, I think this is fine, because if I give that haste, then you have to tap this down, and then I can just turn the boys sideways, if I'm not mistaken. Because I can do remove the 1 counter, and then give it Vigilance and Menace. Which that works, because that takes 2 of your dudes down either way, if I do that. Yeah, we'll do that. So, alright, beginning of combat trigger, I got the Reckless Stormseeker.
Yep.
I'm going to target Mygla's Maze Crusher.
Yeah, we're going to tap it down.
Yep. And then I'm going to move to combat.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we just... we can put you to 1. We can put you to 1. Which I'm okay with that. I'm stacking with these.
Yeah, I guess we'll block the Bloodbraid Elf and go to 1.
Okay. So that's dead. And his dude stays alive because it's getting the 1/1 from the Drog School. And it's your go.
Alright, untap, draw. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Not looking good for the homeboys today. What do we play here? It might honestly be that. Yeah, I think we're just gonna fire off a Coco on the main phase.
Right. For those who are wondering, pretty much the reason he has to main phase is because if he doesn't cast a spell, Reckless Stormseeker, it becomes Night, which is pretty huge for me.
Well,
did you whiff?
I whiffed.
Wow, 6 lands?
6 lands off Coco.
Yeah, that's pretty yikes.
Yep, and I think that is gonna undoubtedly be game now.
I think, yeah, I got 5 dudes.
Yep.
So,
yeah, that is going to be it.
Okay, all right.
Off the Coco Whiff. I did have 2 dudes in my hand, too, and I should have played those instead in hindsight, I suppose. I also kept 4 lands, 3 Coco in my opener.
So the awkward thing was, so I had double Elf in my hand, and I drew Samut as my first draw, so I could have played Samut first and then Bloodbraid Elf, but I didn't have a 3rd land to for sure play the Bloodbraid Elf. I had 2 draws to get the 3rd land, but assuming I don't get the land, then I pretty much, like, it doesn't curve as well. I mean, turn 3 guaranteed Bloodbraid Elf feels pretty good, and I still had the Earthshaker Kenra to also get in for 2 anyways, so...
Yeah, I kept a really greedy hand with 4 lands, 3 Coco, and then I drew land 3 drops, so... But then by the time I found dudes, I had already, it was just time to start firing off Cocos. But hitting the whiff there hurts really bad. Right. Especially since I think everything in my deck is a hit besides land and Coco.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's unfortunately the decks that play Collected Company, you live and die by the Cocos a lot of the time.
Yeah, I've been there plenty of times.
Okay, all right, well, we're going to go ahead and get ready for sideboarding here. We're going to kind of go over overall, like, what we're taking in, what we're taking out. So we'll see you in just a second. Alrighty, so we are back for sideboarding here. I'm going to go ahead and let Hunter start here. He's going to talk about what he's bringing in, what he's taking out, and why.
So I guess for starters, what I'm going to be bringing in is 3 Aether Gust, a Declaration in Stone, and a Settle the Wreckage. I'm going to be taking out a Spectral Sailor, 2 Shacklegeist, an Empyrean Eagle, and a Coco. I just need a little bit more low-to-the-ground interaction against your deck, because obviously the realization is that sometimes you can just play a bunch of 2, 3, and 4 drops and overwhelm me, so just a little bit of earlier interaction. And I'm going to cut a couple of creatures because I don't have anything to cut. I think Spectral Sailor and Shacklegeist are the worst cards in the matchup against you just because they're small bodies that only trade down for the most part. And cutting a single Coco because I don't want all 4 Cocoa when I'm bringing in a bunch of non-creature spells.
Right. Nope, that definitely makes sense. I feel like that's what a lot of people can struggle with is like when it's like a card like Collected Company, when to take it out in a matchup. Because yeah, it's so good, but like when you're bringing in a bunch of non-creatures, you kind of have to sometimes cut those down a little bit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I also, before we go on, Settle the Wreckage is one of the most underrated cards in Pioneer. Like, this card is so good, and just no one ever plays it. So I had to throw that in there. So, okay, so for my sideboarding plan, I'm bringing in 1 Grafdigger's Cage, 2 Lithomantic Barrages, and 2 Clothis. So Grafdigger's Cage, single-handedly, pretty much the reason, it stops Collected Company, which is fantastic. Lithomantic Barrage, obviously, you know, 5 damage, well, 1 damage to a blue or white creature or planeswalker, but if it's blue or white, it deals 5. So obviously, Lithomantic Barrage, just fantastic against the spirits. And then 2 Clothis, just because it's really grindy. You know, if I'm sitting here using removal spells, trading creatures, trading resources, Clothis is just going to kind of help take over the game, get me over the hump a little bit. I'm taking out my 2 drops, so my 1 Ruby and my 2 Earthshaker Kenras. In this matchup, I want more removal. In this particular matchup, and I really like my 3 drops. I am also cutting my 2 Domri Anarcho-Bolas. It's the 1 3-drop I don't like in this matchup. You're playing flyers, so you can very easily take out my Domri. The can't be countered can be relevant, but in this matchup, usually with Bant Spirits, they typically don't play all the counter spells. Like, for instance, like Mono Blue and Blue White, they're playing like Lofty Denial, Geistlight Snare.
Oh yeah.
Probably more that I can't think of all of a sudden. In the Bant Spirits, they're more about just like a true aggro deck playing spirits, turning them sideways. So I just don't think it's quite as good. I thought about cutting one of my other 3 drops, but I really like them. Samet draws me cards. Reckless Stormseeker forces you to play your Cocos on your turn. And then Gruul Spellbreaker, I just really like how aggressive it is, but also funny is you can't settle me if I have a Gruul Spellbreaker.
That is true.
So which is kind of funny. But essentially that's my idea. That's what I'm trying to do here. So okay, well, we're gonna go ahead and shuffle up for game 3 of 4. I forgot to mention at the beginning, we're playing 2 pre-boarding games, 2 post-boarding games. We'll see in just a second for game number 3. Alrighty, so we are back for game number 3. I'm on 6, Hunter's on 7, and Hunter is on the play. How's your hand looking?
It's looking all right. I've got a couple of lands and then a few creatures in the hand, but I'm just looking to maybe grab 1 more land or 2 to kind of round out the hand. How about you?
It's a little iffy. I got a little bit of removal here, a couple lands. I'm definitely playing off the top of my deck for sure. If my draws are good, then we're in this. If I draw a bunch of elves and not meaningful cards, I'm probably going to lose, but we'll cross that bridge once we get to it. So, all right, you go ahead and start us off.
Play Botanical Sanctum and pass.
Draw. I'm going to go ahead and start us with an elf. Go ahead.
All right, I'm going to draw for turn. Play in a Darkheart Wastes and pass.
All right, draw. Well, not quite the draw we wanted, but it is the draw we got. So I'm going to go ahead and play this. I'm going to move to combat.
Yeah.
I'm going to attack for 1.
I'm going to go to 19.
Second main phase, I'm going to play an Elvish Mystic, and pass to you.
All right, on your end step, I'm going to flash in a Rattle Chains and target Rattle Chains with Hexproof.
Yeah, you got it.
Untap and draw.
Rattle Chains.
Oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, we're going to attack for 2.
All right, I'm at 18.
Go ahead.
All right, we definitely need a good draw here. And that wasn't it. All right, so let's see what we're going to do here. I think I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to play a Crag Crown Pathway. I'm going to tap 1. I'm going to see what you're working with over here. I'm going to play a Lithomantic Barrage or Barrage.
I suppose in response, I'm going to flash in a Spectral Sailor.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go to 18 to pay for a blue and flash in a Spectral Sailor.
Yeah.
And that's going to die.
Okay. All right. So that goes down. This is funny, and I guess we're going to do this because I got nothing else going on. I'm going to pay 1. I'm going to cycle I'm going to channel the Sekenzen. I didn't think this would happen, so I totally forgot to grab my tokens, so I'm just going to use these dice. And then I'm going to attack you for 2.
I'm going to go to 16.
All right, I'm going to see if there's any black sleeves in here real quick.
I do believe there is.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to use those to represent my things here. So, all right, go ahead.
Untap, draw. That is a bit better of what we were looking for.
They're also colorless spirits. Man, could you imagine if Drogskull Captain was symmetrical and then they got buffed too?
Yeah, that'd be bad for me, that's for sure.
Look at me. I'm the spirit deck.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, we're gonna pay 2 for that. Go to 14, and do I do that? Probably. You got 2 cards in hand?
2. They both suck.
I guess we're just gonna play an Inferior Eagle.
Eagle!
Give my dudes +1/+1. We're gonna attack for 4 in the air.
Yeah, I'm at 13.
Go ahead.
Alright, we need a good draw. We need a good draw. That's not a good draw. Alright, I'm gonna play a layer tapped, because I'm terrible at drawing magic cards. I'm gonna barrage your eagle there.
Yep.
And then combat, we're gonna attack for 4.
Gotta go to 10.
Go ahead.
Untap and draw for turn. Well, I suppose play that tapped, and I'm going to play a Drogskull Captain.
The captain.
And I'm going to pass.
Alright, untap. We need a draw. We need a draw. Oh my god, another land. Alright, so I don't have anything good going on here. So at this point, I think I'm just going to put you into the abyss here. I'm going to activate my lair for 5.
Alright.
And then I'm just going to attack for 5.
We're going to block with a 2/2.
Alright, sounds good. Go ahead.
Untap it.
I must say, I'm getting land flooded, but at least I'm drawing, like, more relevant lands. Like, that's at least a plus.
Is fair. We are going to go ahead and we're going to play a Shacklegeist.
That's disgusting.
That's pretty good.
I don't like that.
Go ahead.
Nice lair, idiot. Draw! No! I drew another bad card. Alright, I'm playing another thing here. Actually, no. Yeah, that'll be red. I hate that card.
I don't think it's ever been more relevant than right now.
Well, I mean, I could attack. I mean, the problem is I could activate the lair, and then you'd have to tap 2 dudes, and then I could get in some damage, but I don't know if that's worth it. I mean, it could be, but you'll just eat my creatures up, so I don't think I can do that. I'm just gonna play an Elvish Mystic and I'll pass.
Well,
I got no cards in hand as well.
On your end step, we're gonna tap 2 spirits and tap an untapped elf.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna untap and draw. Do they have flying or reach?
No, they're
No,
just
they're
colorless,
just
colorless 1/1 spirits. Yeah, they're not very in spirit.
Attack for 7 here, technically. Do that. Yeah, I'm gonna move to combat, and I think I'm gonna attack you in the air for 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to 10.
Go ahead.
Alright, well, I would love to draw a solid card here. Blood Red Elf theoretically would be our best draw, but let's see what happens. That was it was a card. I mean, it wasn't the best card that we could have drawn, but I will play a Reckless Stormseeker.
In response, I think I would like to flash in a Spell Queller.
I'd rather you didn't.
And I would like to exile the Reckless Stormseeker.
Okay, so let's see. Alright, well, I guess I'm gonna activate Lair for 4. 4/4. Move to combat.
For combat, we're gonna tap 2 spirits and tap down the lair.
Okay, and then I will attack for 2.
I will eat one of them.
Okay.
And we'll go to 9.
Okay, go ahead.
Untap and draw. I do believe that I have lethal.
Yes.
Combat. We'll go attack for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in the air.
Yep. Yeah, that's game.
All right.
So my opening hand was barrage elf lands. And I bottomed an obliterating bolt. So I'm like, well, if we draw some gas, well, that unfortunately didn't happen. So, but all right, so we're gonna go ahead and shuffle up for game number 4, and we'll see you in just a second. All right, so we are ready for our final game, game number 4. My hand it's a risky one. I've only got 1 land, but I've got a lot of gas. If we draw like 1 land here in our top 2, we are looking really, really good. So, how's your hand looking?
It's looking all right. I got some lands, got some creatures. Hopefully I won't draw too many more lands and try to settle this hand out.
All right, sounds good. All right, well, I'm going to start us off here. I'm going to shock and play an elf. Go ahead.
All right, we're going to draw, play a Seachrome Coast and pass.
Not a land. Okay. I'm just going to play this elf and
all right.
pass.
On your end step, I'm going to flash in a Spectral Sailor.
Yeah.
Untap and draw.
Yes, I did not attack because I did not want to get hit by the Spectral Sailor.
Move to combat. 1 in the air.
17.
Go ahead.
Land. That's not a land.
Oh, no.
Not a land, endured. I'm going to tap 1. I'm going to play another elf. And I'm going to pass.
On your end step, I'm going to flash in a Rattle Chains. I'm going to target Rattle Chains with Hexproof.
With the trigger on the stack.
Oh, he's got the stuff.
I will stop.
All right.
That was like half the reason I kept the hand there.
Pretty good.
Go ahead.
Tap and draw. You know, I think...
Temporary lockdown.
Oh, that'd be really good. I'm going to play a Temple Garden untapped.
Yeah.
I'm going to play an Infurian Eagle.
Yeah.
I'm going to attack you for 2.
I'm at 15.
Go ahead.
All right, deck, come on. No more elves. Just a land. No, I drew another elf.
Oh, my God.
No! Oh, good. Okay, well, I still have some options here. So, I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to tap 2. I'm going to Obliterating Bolt the Empyrean Eagle.
Yup.
And then I'm going to play another elf that I just drew. But now we can get in for 1, because I got nothing else going on.
17.
Go ahead.
All right.
They call this the Trent hand.
Oh, I did not need another land there. I suppose we're just going to shock that in and pass.
Shocking. All right. Please. I just want to land. Oh my God, no. Still not a land.
Oh, boy.
Man, a land would have been really good there, too.
Temporary lockdown would have been really good. Jeez, might need to get some of those.
Yeah, seriously. All right, well, we came here to do one thing, and that's cast Bloodbraid Elf.
That is a Bloodbraid Elf.
I have a casket trigger.
Yep, resolves.
Oh, hey, look, a land! A lure, dude! Oh, no.
Another elf.
I want to cast an Elvish Mystic.
All right, Elvish Mystic resolves.
Bloodbraid Elf.
Bloodbraid Elf resolves.
All right. Well, I'm going to move to combat.
Yep.
I'm going to attack for 3.
I'm going to take 3. Go 12.
I have 5 elves in play. What is this? Go ahead.
On your end step, I'm going to activate Spectral Sailor to draw a card.
Yeah.
I'm going to untap and draw a card.
And maybe I should have just cascaded into like a leaf crown druid. That's what I'd like to cascade into now.
Oh, this is painful.
Oh my God! Imagine Bloodbraid Elf with Leaf Crown Druid in Pioneer, because this is an elf. Play like Jund elves. That'd be hilarious.
Go to 10.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play an Infurian Eagle and pass the turn.
All right, please. Please. I just want to land. Oh no, I didn't draw.
Oh my God. We're having the exact opposite problem, because I'm sitting on 3 lands in my hand.
So, I am going to do this, though. I am going to tap 4. I'm going to tap 4 elves. I'm going to play a Questing Beast.
Yeah, that's probably going to kill me.
All right. Move to combat.
Yes.
I'm going to attack for 7. I'm going to leave this elf back.
I think we're going to put the Spectral Sailor in front of the elf.
Yeah.
Go ahead and take 4 and go to 6.
Okay. And it's your go.
On your end step, I'm going to flash and rattle chains.
Yeah.
Target itself.
In response to the trigger.
Sure.
I'm going to stomp it.
Nice. Yeah.
We got one mountain, but we can do this. There was some motivation to go for face, but I think I just get rid of the rattle chains.
Oh, I need to stop drawing lands here.
Can't relate. I mean, I sort of drew lands.
We're gonna deck and stone the beast.
Yeah, okay. So that's exiled, and I get a clue.
Yes,
This is my clue.
Go ahead.
Deck, please. No! Oh, no, that's not it. Okay, I've got some options here, though. I think the right move is actually, so there's motivation to just, like, turn the elves sideways here, certainly, but I think I'm going to crack the clue. I'm going to draw.
All right.
Oh, my God. We got the land. All right, so I'm going to start with 3 mana. I'm going to play a Reckless Stormseeker.
Yep.
All right, it is day. It is day. And then I think I'm just going to do this now. I'm going to Obliterating Bolt and Imperial Eagle. Okay. See, the one land was not good, but I had 2 stomps and 2 Obliterating Bolts, so I was able to just push through the actual damage itself.
Kept a 4-lander, drew 2 lands, then non-land, and then another land.
And drew extra card with the Spectral Sailor.
With the Spectral Sailor, and it was a land.
Right. Yeah, those are very weird games, I would say, as a whole, throughout the entire match, but that is Magic the Gathering. So, okay, all right, well, we're going to go ahead and de-sideboard real quick, and then we will catch you at the very end with the discussion. Don't check out of it, though. A lot of people really like the discussions according to the comment section, so we've got some cool things to talk about, and we'll see you in just a second. Alrighty, so we are here for the post-match discussion. So, a couple things we're going to go over. So, the first thing, obviously, we're going to talk about the match as a whole. Next, we're going to go over, assuming our cards were legal in Pioneer, kind of how they would fare in the overall metagame. And then the last thing we'll talk about is we'll kind of talk about how, the scale of how powerful they are. Like, 1 being like the card is just not good enough. It's not even good enough for the format. And then 10 would be like, this card should never be in Pioneer. So, okay. So, obviously the match, Hunter, you go ahead and start us off. Like, the match overall.
The match overall seemed fine. I mean, like, as it always happens when we get together to play Pioneer Showdown, there is always at least, like, 1.5 to 2 non-games from, like, one side or the other. So that's always a pain in the ass to, like, deal with, you know? But other than that, I didn't hate the matches. Like, with both of us having a card not in Pioneer, it seemed a lot more fair. And, like, the games that, like, were good felt, like, really great from both sides. It was fairly interactive. There was a lot going on. But nothing seemed like I play my not Pioneer card, I win the game. Like, there didn't really feel like anything too major about that.
Right. No, I definitely agree. It's, again, yeah, we always have, like, 2 non-games, it seems like, every time. I feel like definitely the best game, I think we both were able to highlight kind of what our decks are about. Like, game 1, you played the Drog Skull, like, into my removal spell, you know, swatted it away, and then, like, just, like, killed me really fast, which was great. And then game 2, I had a turn 3 Bloodbraid Elf and a turn 4 Bloodbraid Elf and was able to just get a lot of value from playing the Bloodbraid Elf. So it seemed like we both kind of got to showcase like what our decks were meant to do overall. So I thought that was pretty cool. Obviously, like, game 3 was pretty solid, and game 4 was weird because, like, you drew too many lands, and I had, like, all land and, like, 5 elves, which was the weirdest thing. But,
yeah, it was wild.
Yeah, but, you know, I guess it's kind of fun to watch a little bit. You know, it's like, oh my god, like, whatever. So
that's Magic, right?
Right. So, okay, so next thing to talk about is kind of how our decks, assuming our cards were legal in Pioneer, how they would fare overall in the metagame. So I'll let you start with that again.
I suppose I would probably myself rate Drogskull somewhere in the 6 to 7 range. I'm not saying it would make Spirits, like, completely busted, but I still think it might be just too good for the format because, like, I assume that my deck that I'm playing is not the most finely tuned, not the most optimized. If Drogskull was in the format, there would probably be a pro out there that would find, like, the absolute best version of Spirits for Drogskull, and that might be too good. Like, I really like playing Coco because I'm a sucker for Coco, but the Drogskol plan might be just so much better in blue-white because they have like the interactive counter spells, they have the better mana base. So Drogskol might just be too good if it fit in a shell like that, but without playing that exact shell, I guess it's kind of hard to say what it would be like.
One thing I like is, well, two things on the discussion of Drogskol Captain. So the first thing is, I think with Drogskol Captain, I think Shacklegeist gets better.
It does.
Because it has flash, so it's almost a counter spell that just gives you a 2/2, but then all your other dudes get +1/+1. So it's almost like it can be like a counter spell in a way, which is kind of insane. Like obviously, even just turn 3, like on your turn, Drogskol is still perfectly great, but having that option to have it as a protection spell seems really, really good. So I had to throw that in there.
Yeah, that is really, really nice.
I also think what's interesting with the lords overall that are not currently in the format, and that's regardless of spirits, elves, goblins, whatever. I think Drogskol Captain is one of the few lords that's not in Pioneer that is arguably the best lord.
Yes.
Because nowadays, like elves, you could make an argument that Leafkin Druid is the best elf lord, even though like Elvish Archdruid is not in the format, which obviously Elvish Archdruid would see play. But what's weird is still in current Magic, where 2-mana lords with upside are being printed, like Leafcrown Visionary and Runevelt Hordemaster, or even just vanilla 2/2 for 2 lords, Drogskol Captain still just seems that good.
Yeah, especially since like you can't print all my spirits get +1/+1 and hexproof onto a 2-mana lord. That would just be so busted. But even at the 3-mana slot, like it's just still super good. I would love to see it in Pioneer. I unfortunately do think it might be just a little too good for the format because the removal's not really like all there, as they say, for Pioneer.
Yeah, I agree. I think would it be broken and warp the format? No. But I think just on the average curve level, I think it's a little bit too strong. But I think, though, that it certainly has an argument, though, that it could come into the format. I know we just passed through Innistrad, so the odds of it getting reprinted soon are kind of slim. But I think overall, though, it would be pretty interesting. So, all right, so we'll talk about Bloodbraid Elf. So obviously, Bloodbraid Elf in current Magic is not as strong as it used to be. For those who don't know, Bloodbraid Elf used to be banned in Modern. It was banned in Modern until I want to say 2017.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
It got unbanned with Jace the Mind Sculptor, which we are definitely going to play Jace the Mind Sculptor on here someday. I can already tell you we're going to do that. But so Bloodbraid Elf was banned because it was just simply put, it was too efficient. It got unbanned in Modern, saw a little bit of play in like Gruul mid-range. Jund was playing it for a while, but it was not like too good. It never was too good. That being said, in Pioneer currently, I think it's a similar fate as Drogskol Captain. I put it about the like 7.5 range where, yeah, like in Pioneer, I think it's way better in Pioneer, obviously, than Modern.
Oh,
you know, just playing Bloodbraid Elf and getting like, what was it? I got Reckless Stormseeker with it. I think I got Reckless Stormseeker twice and then Elf once.
Yep.
Just even getting a Reckless Stormseeker, that's insane, especially if you go turn 2. Let's say we go that turn 2 Reckless Stormseeker attack for 3. Turn 3 Bloodbraid Elf cascade into another one, attack for, so that'd be 3, 6, 9.
Or
like, that's insane.
Or there would be some situations where maybe you play like a more beefy Gruul deck where you go like turn 2 or turn 3 with your elf, go Stormseeker, and then the next turn you go Bloodbraid Elf, get like Lovestruck Beast, use Stormseeker to give Bloodstruck Beast haste and then attack in. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think overall, and then even without aggro, like even mid-range, like maybe even Rakdos mid-range pivots into a Jund mid-range, and then they just play like Glissa and Bloodbraid Elf together, which, oh my god, Bloodbraiding into a Glissa, that seems very unfair. Which, isn't Glissa an elf?
Maybe?
Jund elves. Jund elves.
Just Jund.
But anyways, so overall, I think Bloodbraid Elf is a little bit too good for the format. It didn't seem too oppressive here, but like playing, just slamming it down, even against a deck that plays like counterspells and interaction, it's like, whatever, worst case scenario, I'm going to get a 3/2 with haste.
Yeah, like, I think the problem with Bloodbraid is the obviously the cascading part. You could put that on any, you know, bodied creature, a 3-mana 2/1 or whatever it may be, but getting the potential to get 7 mana worth of creatures for 4 mana is just
On turn 3.
really, really good. Yeah, on turn 3 in some cases. I think that might just be a little too good for the Pioneer format.
Right. Oh, also I forgot. I also obliterated into the Obliterating Bolt with no targets.
That is true.
That was the other card I forgot about.
And as you said, with the problem with Bloodbraid is you live and you die by the Bloodbraid, right?
Yeah. 4 mana spells. Turns out you live and die by them. So, okay. And then the third, what was that the third thing we talked about? Because it was metagame. And then, we totally, I guess we kind of combined number 2 and number 3 together. But the overall metagame, how they would fare, assuming those cards were legal right now, how would they work in the metagame? So I guess I'll let you start with you.
I think, honestly, Drogskol would definitely push Spirits back into the meta a little bit heavier because, like flashing in Drogskol with a Rattle Chains on the board and bouncing off a counter spell or bouncing off like a removal spell or something along those lines is really, really good. I feel like it might also give you that edge to push into being able to go over Rakdos a little bit faster.
Yeah, that's true.
And having the hexproof to kind of interact with their counter spells would be good. I still think, unfortunately, like, even with the addition to Drogskol, the deck probably folds to decks like Mono White, Mono Red, and like probably a lot more of those low to the ground Gruul or Red White aggro decks that just like look to play a couple removal spells and turn dudes sideways. You still might be just a little too slow even with a Drogskol.
I agree. I think what's interesting, though, is I think with Drogskol Captain, assuming it came into Pioneer, I think almost Mono Blue would almost be irrelevant now. Like,
oh, yeah.
Because, like, it would basically, you would have to be Blue-White or Bant. I feel like there would be almost no reason to be Mono Blue. Like, I know Mono Blue is a little bit different because they're playing, like, Ascendant Spirit, and they're doing they're doing a little bit different things. Like, Blue-White is kind of a mix of Bant and Mono Blue, which obviously makes sense, but I think with Drogskol Captain, like you would have to just play Drogskol Captain.
It would just feel bad to not, because like when you bring in the white, then you also get the Spell Quiller, you also unlock those really, really good sideboard cards like Settle, Deck and Stone, Rest in Peace, Dovin's Veto if you want it, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. It would change things a little bit. I think it would go to that like tier 1.5 deck.
Yeah.
Like it would still be like, you can actually make an argument because Spirits is generally is good against mono green. So you could argue that like Spirits would be like that like number 3, 4. Like it'd probably be like mono green, Rakdos, and then like Sacrifice or something, or Greasefang, and then it would be Spirits.
Yeah, I feel like it would probably be like in a realm where if you were to go to like a Pro Tour or a Grand Prix, you might see that kind of Spirits list like in the top 8 or even a couple of them, but they might, like, if they find a bad matchup on the way to the finals, they might finish at like that 5 and 4 place range, but I still think it would be a lot more viable than what they are now with Drogskol in the format.
Absolutely. So, assuming this deck currently was in the format, I think it would largely Gruul Boats. I don't think they would play Boats. I don't think they would really... Maybe they would play like Chariot and Bloodbraid Elf, but I think they would just play just a Gruul, low-to-the-ground aggro deck. Maybe they probably wouldn't do like the Samet Shell like I was doing. Like you said, they probably would just play like Lovestruck Beast, or they would play other aggressive 3-drops that I can't currently think of right now, which is weird because normally that's all I can think about. But anyways, I think it would... Bloodbraid Elf itself... It doesn't have just one deck. Like, Drogskol Captain largely is just like Blue-White Bant Spirits. Bloodbraid Elf, I think, would have a gravitating effect on the format. I think Rakdos would probably go to Jund, and then, like, all the Gruul decks would become, like, way better because of that. And it would change the metagame. You could definitely make the argument it would be a negative change, but it's not like a slot-in card for the most part. It's just like it's its own like entity. There's not a card that's like Bloodbraid Elf in the format. I mean, you can make the argument that the closest thing to it is Chariot because it's like a 2-for-1. You're getting a vehicle that's a 4-4, and you're getting 2 2/2s. So like it's similar in a way, which obviously Chariot is fantastic in the format. But I do think Bloodbraid Elf would just be better than Chariot as a whole.
Yeah, like I think that's where like the oppressive part of Bloodbraid would really play into the format, whereas like you wouldn't just make a Bloodbraid Elf deck. You would find a way to put Bloodbraid Elf in a splash in a deck that's already similar, and you would want those kind of effects. And then that's where the problem would be, is you have, all of these top 8 decks, and 6 of these decks are 4 Bloodbraid and whatever spells, and that's where you start to see, like, you either play Bloodbraid or play cards to beat Bloodbraid, and then that's where it starts to kind of make that unhealthy and toxic format where there's no, like, super diversity, even though it looks like there's a bunch of decks, it's just a bunch of decks playing the same, like, 4 cards in a different shell.
Like, it'd be like Gruul Bloodbraid aggro, Jund Bloodbraid midrange, 4-color Omnath Bloodbraid. Like, it would just be
mono red Bloodbraid, like mono red curving into Bloodbraid on the top end. You know? Like, it would just be silly stuff like that. People just trying to find a way to abuse it.
Right, yeah. So I think we both kind of agree. Our cards a little bit too strong for the format, but still obviously very fun to play in, you know, these kind of like little fun enclosed environments. Pioneer Plus, if you will call it that. So
yeah, I feel like in order for those cards to come into the format, you would probably need to see like a large quantity of cards from Modern enter into Pioneer in order to, like, kind of stabilize cards like Drogskull and Bloodbraid entering.
I think, so Wizards of the Coast has shown, not so much in the last, like, 2 years, but they have shown that they're willing to put cards that are not in Pioneer that are, like, stronger in a Pioneer. Like, a great example, Cavern of Souls, you know, is coming in Lost Caverns of Ixalan. They've given us the Fast Lands. I feel like they recently just did a really good reprint. I'm forgetting it. I'm drawing a blank. I mean, obviously, we got Liliana the Veil. That's a fantastic one. You know, that was still about a year ago. But overall...
Sleight of Hand.
Sleight of Hand, yes! Sleight of Hand. So they've shown that they're willing to put strong cards that are not in Pioneer into the format. So obviously, you know, time will tell. We'll see what happens, and I'm sure, you know, we're going to get a lot more fantastic reprints over the next year because we are returning to a couple different planes here and there. So, okay, well, I think this is time we can go ahead and wrap it up. Hunter, thank you very much for being in this episode of Pioneer Showdown.
Yeah, absolutely. I always love coming and helping and make some content, play some Magic, and, you know, obviously there's been a few people that have kind of appreciated the brews that I brought to the table, so it's always nice to see that there's a little bit of love out there for the stuff that I'm bringing. So
absolutely.
Nice
I'm gonna plug you in for you here. Hunter hasn't been on here in a while. About month and a half ago, the last time he was in Pioneer Showdown, he top-8'd with the Wizard Burn deck. That was featured right here on the channel. So if you'd like to check that out, I'll make sure to leave, like you can click on the little thing in the corner. If you want to check out that episode of when we played, he top-8'd a Pioneer RCQ with that deck. So you should definitely check that out. It's a very, very spicy, fun deck. I'm pretty sure I got crushed that entire episode. So
yeah, Wizards Lightning, man, I don't know what else to say about it. You get a lightning bolt in the format, you got to play the lightning
Wizards
bolt.
Lightning bolt. It's the same picture.
It's the same card.
So, all right. Well, go ahead and let us know in the comment section below. How many misplays did we make? You know, how do you like our decks? What would you change about them? And is there any cards in the Pioneer Plus that are not currently legal in the format that you'd like us to showcase? Just let us know in the comment section below. I'm Commander Crane, and we'll catch you in the next one.